Well, there are several motivations for Christians to obey Christ. And I want to take just some time and share one of these motivations. So here's the first lesson. We can be motivated to obey God because He is at work in us. Philippians 2:12 through 13 says, "Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you both to will and to work for His good pleasure." So verse 13 then gives the motivation to do verse 12. Work out your salvation for or because God is working in you. So we only have salvation then to work out because God is the one that is working in us. You see, we must grasp the magnitude of what is really going on inside of us as Christians. The significant thing about a Christian, of course, is that God is the one that is working in us. So the one who made the universe has involved Himself with the mess of your and my little life. You and I, we are not alone in this endeavor. I mean, we can't possibly work out our own salvation without God at work in us. But the reason, of course, that we can work it out is because God is working in us, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. You see, there's a mystery, I think, to our spiritual lives. We are responsible for how we live. While at the same time, this passage here teaches us that God is the one that is at work in us, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. That is, God is constantly at work within you and I, so that we even have the will and the power to do what pleases Him, to will and to work. So He engages with every level of our psychology, with every level of our personality and our behavior. And why does He do it? Well, it's because He chooses to. It is for His own good pleasure. And knowing that God is at work in us really should motivate us to continue to work out our salvation. You see, it's not a pointless effort. We can expect to see progress because it's not simply our own selves that are doing it, but it is God that is at work in us. You know, as Christians, we have battles with sin constantly within our lives. But just think about this. The very fact that sin is, in fact, a battle for us at times is evidence of God's grace working within our life. Young girls, just think about this for a moment. Maybe your friend asks you to come to a party and to get hammered or whatever it may be, and the conviction settles in. And you decide that you're not going to spend your Friday night getting hammered, but instead what you're going to do is you're going to do something else. So just know that it is the grace of God at work within your life. You didn't come up with that conclusion on your own. You didn't just dig down deep into your powerful self and say, I'm not going to do it. No, there was God's grace within your life to help you. God is the one that has given you the will and the power to make that stand. Ladies, my wife tells me that one of the sins of many women is the envy and jealousy that creeps in when it comes to relating to other women. So when you see this, the girl that's at church or maybe at work or at the gym or whatever, and she has her perfect little marriage with all of her money, her pretty little family, or her beautiful house, and all of her Lululemon gear, whatever, and the jealousy comes in. Well, the reason that you begin to battle that kind of attitude and remind yourself to be content is not because you're so great. It's because God is at work within you. Men, when you're scrolling on IG or YouTube and you find yourself on the wrong algorithm, if you know what I mean, the reason that you choose to scroll past very quickly or maybe even put the thing down is because God is at work in you. Paul wants his readers to understand that we are certainly responsible as human beings to work out our own salvation with fear and with trembling, he says. But at the same time, none of us have the right to lay down on our beds at night, right, at the end of the day and say, hey, I am so great. What a good job I did today. No, the mystery is that although you are responsible and you are the one working out your salvation, well, the mystery is that you are doing so with God's divine energy. It is God that is at work within you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. It is very good motivation to know that you don't have to go at this alone, we can be motivated to know that it is God that works within us. Now this passage, I need to make it very clear, this passage is not saying that we somehow earn our salvation. When we work out our salvation, it's the idea that there's the process by which we become holy, the process by which we become molded into the shape of Jesus Christ. It's our sanctification process. So we are saved by grace through faith, according to Ephesians 2:8-9, and a number of different passages. But this passage really helps us see that we are to work out that salvation. We are to take part in how God shapes us into the image of His Son. Well, I hope you've been helped by this video. If you would like, I would love for you to just hit the like button, because if you do that, it will push this video out to more and more people that can truly be helped by it. Well, thank you so much. God bless you in the way.